Sega have recently made an announcement that 2020 will be the year of Sonic, and you can take that however you want to take it. I mean, they said the same thing in 2014 and look how that year ended up. But they've also stated that on the 20th day of each month this year, there's going to be some sort of exciting Sonic announcement. We can presume that the 20th of February is going to be something related to the Sonic movie, because the film has just released in cinemas, and the promotion for the Sonic movie is just absolutely through the roof. But the 20th of March is going to be a very interesting date. This is the day of the Sonic South by Southwest panel, and in previous years we've gotten announcements like Sonic Mania Plus and a teaser for Team Sonic Racing, as well as some awkward Q&A segments and endless jokes regarding Pig the Cat and the imaginary dream of Sonic Adventure 3.
Next question.
Second off, where's Pig the Cat? Where's Pig the Cat? Why isn't he in any games anymore?
So the question is, what will Sega announce this year, and what else is in store for Sonic's 30th anniversary? Now, with every huge gaming announcement coming up like E3 or a Nintendo Direct, sometimes you have to keep your expectations realistic. You know, it's very possible that Sega could literally just drop a subtle name reveal for the new Sonic game and then fill the remaining 30 minutes with merchandise promotion. But if they were to announce a new Sonic game at South by Southwest, there's a number of possibilities. So, option 1. There's no denying that Sonic Mania was a huge success for the Sonic series back in 2017, and Sega have definitely acknowledged that. They've done so much regarding Sonic Mania and just classic Sonic in general, perhaps maybe a bit too much with classic Sonic, but that's besides the point. Sonic Mania is a wonderful game. It oozes charm and passion and creativity. Even people that aren't really Sonic fans that much still enjoy the game. So it's not a far-fetched idea that there's probably going to be a Sonic Mania 2 one day. Sega are definitely going to keep the Mania development team on hand, involving Christian Whitehead, Headcanon, and T. Lopes with his amazing music production skills. And since Sonic Mania is a 2D game instead of a 3D game, the budget to make another Mania game wouldn't be too expensive. And there's plenty of design opportunities for a Sonic Mania sequel. Specifically the fact that the original Sonic Mania doesn't have too many original levels, and it kind of leans on nostalgia for about 70% of the time, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, but people want something new. Give us more levels like Studiopolis, Press Garden, Mirage Saloon, Titanic Monarch. Maybe even let us play as Amy, or make an entirely new classic character. Just something that maintains the charm of the original Sonic Mania, but with something new and creative and fresh. I think that will go down really well with a lot of people. Now for option 2. The likely outcome for Sonic's 30th anniversary would end up being a regular 3D Sonic game, either using the good old boost gameplay formula from these 4 games, or an entirely new experimental gameplay style that adds in some exploration, a bit like what Sonic Lost World did. If they make another boost game, then I really hope that Sega specifically reuse the gameplay style from Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Generations in particular. The way that those games look and feel has been proven to be really well received by fans. Sonic Unleashed and Generations are still being enjoyed even now. When you look at the most recent boost game, which is Sonic Forces, everything seems so watered down. The level design is full of automated sequences and straight lines, it doesn't feel as good or as fast or rewarding, and the levels are over in like 50 seconds. It wasn't bad, it was just a bit of a missed opportunity. Definitely not as good as Unleashed and Generations. So I hope that Sega try to go for the dynamic, frantic, expressive gameplay that Unleashed and Generations actually had. I'd love to see vibrant, memorable locations that Sonic zooms through. I'd love set pieces that don't interrupt the action, but expand upon it and keep the player engaged. Like running down a skyscraper or running up a huge clock tower only to then zoom right back down. And let's just hope that we don't get anything like Sonic Force's double boost sections where you can put the controller down and casually scroll through Twitter as the game plays itself. The point I'm trying to make is that Sega can make a great 3D Sonic boost game, because they already have. Twice, and Sonic Colors came pretty close, so I guess 3 times, but Sonic Forces didn't quite hit the nail on the head. The alternative option is that Sega drops the boost formula entirely and change things up again, and essentially provide us with a more explorational Sonic game. maybe with multiple playable characters to add to the variety. Not quite a Sonic Adventure 3, but I can kind of see this like a homage to the Sonic Adventure games, a bit like how Sonic Mania celebrated the 2D Sonic games. So essentially a 3D Sonic game without the boost, and with multiple playable characters, but not Sonic Adventure 3. Sonic Adventure Mania? Oh no, they've already got Sonic Mania Adventures. Okay, I don't know what name they're going to call it, but basically, Sega have loads of possible options here, so there are endless possibilities.
Pun entirely intended.
They could even hire some 3D Sonic game creators like Fangames, like the people that worked on the Sonic Infinity engine or the Hero engine, if they really want to nail Sonic's controls and get the fans involved with the game. But I don't know if that's too much of a stretch and it's not going to be very likely, but still, it would be cool nonetheless. Now the final option is the most controversial. Holy heck, I would be over the moon if there was a Sonic Adventure remake, but at the same time I'd be so worried about all the little things and how they could potentially mess it all up. Sega have to be careful not to ruin the original feel and atmosphere of the original Sonic Adventure. I mean, if all else fails, I would recommend getting another studio involved with development, like Vicarious Visions or Toys for Bob, because they did an amazing job on the Crash and Spyro remakes for current gen consoles. If there was a Sonic Adventure remake, I'd want the controls and level designs to stay the same, and the same for the music as well. The mission mode could be implemented into the hub world locations and actual townspeople after you complete the game, instead of just having like spinning cards to provide each mission. The graphics of the game could look really nice and updated, like what happened with Zelda Wind Waker or maybe Shadow of the Colossus on PS4. The cutscenes can also get reanimated to something that's today's standards. It's basically just so that the characters don't feel like emotionless robots, aside from the character who is literally an emotionless robot. And the Chow Garden, the potential. Right, okay. Imagine if there was a complimentary mobile game where you can send a Chow from the main Sonic Adventure remake game onto your phone, and then you can take the Chow for a little walk, like Pokemon Go, kind of, and you could feed your Chow extra food and items exclusive to the mobile game. This is literally like what you could do with the Sega Dreamcast VMU thing back in the 90s, where you could store your Chow onto it. And also like Sonic Adventure on the GameCube, where you could send a Chow to your Game Boy Advance. Holy heck, this is such a good opportunity for Sega to make use of current external technology. It can expand the reach of this series to loads of new people through a mobile game, and a Chow Garden app could pretty much be a money-making machine. The only thing I'd change in a Sonic Adventure remake is just to provide a bit more signposting with level entrances. They kind of blend into the scenery a bit too much. And I also think Big the Cat's fishing levels really need a different approach. A lot of people, myself included, can definitely admit that Big's fishing minigames in Sonic Adventure are just the worst part of the game. The fishing controls are strange and unresponsive sometimes, it's just not very fun or intuitive, and unfortunately Big's story is required to get to the final boss of the game. So, I don't know, maybe they could take some inspiration from the fishing minigame in Final Fantasy 15, because that was pretty good. Or maybe just reduce the fishing to a glorified quick time event, something like that. But overall, a Sonic Adventure remake would be great, especially since video game remakes are a bit of a returning trend nowadays. Like you've got the Final Fantasy 7 remake, Resident Evil 2, I think, Crash Team Racing, Nitro Fueled, even SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. So I mean, this is the perfect time for Sonic Adventure to come back into the limelight. Okay, so those are the three possibilities for what Sega could announce at South by Southwest. We're probably not going to get a load of information right away, maybe just a teaser, and the announcement could be something I mentioned previously, or it might be something else, or basically nothing, but it's good to speculate and get hyped for the future of the series. And even if a Sonic game doesn't get announced on the 20th of March, they can always save it for the 20th day of any other month. But when Sega say that this is going to be a big year for Sonic, and the 30th anniversary is coming up next year, this year is going to be an exciting year nonetheless. Because now that the Sonic movie is out, we don't really know what's coming next for the series, so I just can't wait to see what's in store.